being alone can be peaceful, and restorative solitude has well-known stress-relieving benefits. But isolation takes on a darker, more dangerous form when it's involuntary or prolonged. When someone is confined indefinitely, without meaningful social interaction or productive tasks, the consequences go far beyond boredom. Early on, stress hormones like cortisol may surge, and as time passes, that stress can become chronic. Social connections and daily responsibilities serve as a kind of emotional stabilizer and help us maintain a grip on reality through what researchers call social reality testing, a way to check and balance our perceptions. Without that, a person's sense of self can begin to deteriorate, leading to spiraling thoughts, impulsive behavior, depression, obsessive thinking, suicidal ideation, and in extreme cases, delusions and hallucinations. Neurologically, this prolonged state of distress can overstimulate the brain's limbic system, the center for fear and stress. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, which governs rational thinking, memory, and moral judgment, may shrink, impairing cognition. The longer this continues, the more emotional imbalance sets in, making people increasingly vulnerable to anxiety, rage, and irrational actions. Isolation also affects the body. People may lose track of time, struggle to sleep, suffer from headaches, dizziness, heart palpitations, hypersensitivity, and appetite issues. Some try to cope through routines like exercise, reading, and journaling. But under extreme conditions, that's often not enough. The United Nations and many human rights organizations categorize prolonged, forced isolation as a form of torture. Yet, this is precisely what many incarcerated individuals experience, especially in the United States, where solitary confinement is widespread. In 2019 alone, more than 120,000 U.S. prisoners spent 22 to 24 hours a day in mostly windowless 6-by-9-foot cells. This practice originated in the late 1700s, when Quaker groups proposed solitary confinement as a humane alternative to corporal punishment. They believed it could induce reflection and penitence, thus the term penitentiary. But the effects were quickly condemned. Even Charles Dickens criticized it as worse than any physical torture. Though its use declined for a time, it resurged in the 1980s alongside tough-on-crime policies that ballooned prison populations. With overcrowding came protests, violence, and rebellion, prompting authorities to use solitary confinement to maintain order. Many people are placed in solitary for non-violent infractions, like talking back to guards. While it harms everyone, it is especially damaging for individuals with pre-existing mental health conditions. Solitary confinement worsens dramatically. The psychological toll doesn't end when the cell door opens. Former inmates who've endured solitary are 3 times more likely to experience post-traumatic stress disorder. They often report lasting changes in personality, heightened anxiety and paranoia, trouble concentrating, and difficulty reconnecting with others. Some states have begun to place restrictions on solitary confinement, particularly for children, pregnant individuals, or those with severe mental illnesses, and have capped stays at 15 or 20 days. But enforcement is inconsistent, and prisons often exploit loopholes. Despite evidence that solitary fails to reduce violence and undermines rehabilitation, it remains a common practice. Other countries have adopted more humane models. Norway, for instance, imprisons far fewer people and spends 5 times more per inmate on living conditions, education, and reintegration programs. The result? Norway boasts one of the lowest recidivism rates in the world, a powerful indicator that we do better when we heal together rather than isolate in punishment. Every year, hundreds of thousands of Americans who can't afford bail remain incarcerated while they await trial, many enduring isolation before even being convicted. It's part of a broader system that continues to value punishment over restoration, despite mounting evidence of the lasting damage caused by prolonged solitude. So social connection is vital to a peaceful life. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.